When I step back and consider what the Republican agenda has been in the Senate over the last couple of years, at least since 2009, you might even go back further, but at least since 2009, let me provide at least my summary of what I see coming out of that caucus. First and foremost, scorched earth opposition to President Obama. No matter what he has been for, it seems they're always against, even before they know any details. So total objection to anything the president has tried to do, whether that's rescuing the economy from the ditch that it was in after President Bush, or whether that's expanding opportunity for the middle class. Whatever it is, they're against. Number two, total hostility to comprehensive immigration reform. We saw that over and over again as a pillar of Republican orthodoxy in the Senate. Number three, repealing the Affordable Care Act, and thereby saying to children that if you have a pre-existing condition, tough luck. If you have other challenges because of a healthcare system that wasn't working for people, tough luck. Total opposition to covering 20 million Americans who are now covered by the ACA. And number four isn't a policy issue, it's really a lack of a policy issue. Number four, no new ideas, no alternatives to any of the challenges that face the middle class. So if those four, and I could go on, but I won't, if those four sound at all familiar, they should, because that's in some ways the agenda of the Republican caucus is the personification of the candidacy of Donald Trump. In a sense, you could say that when you consider his candidacy and its relationship to their caucus, you could almost say to that caucus, you built that. You built that candidacy. I'll raise a few more and then relinquish the microphone. How about ISIS? What do we hear on ISIS from both the almost Republican nominee and the Republican caucus? A lot of hot air, a lot of yelling and screaming, but no plan, no specific ideas about how to defeat ISIS. Minimum wage, a lot of hot air, but not serious about raising it. Talk about it, but no commitment to increase the minimum wage. Equal pay, that's easy for both of them. No, that's all you hear. And finally, an economic plan, just at a time when maybe the number one issue for the middle class, and we got a reminder today again, another report talking about how the middle class has been undermined and for so many destroyed. Even in the midst of all that data and all that anxiety about the future, what do we hear from the Republican Party in the Senate, and what do we hear from their candidate for president? It's a plan to drive us right back into that ditch that I mentioned at the outset, the ditch that we were in when President Obama took over. So that's the connection between the two. I think it's plainly evident that this candidacy is completely tied to the agenda of the Republican caucus.